Okay, now we can get the regular business of the board. Sorry for the mess up there. This is the reorganization of the board. The board to elect a chair, vice chair, and secretary for the 2017-18 years to be effective following the 2017 annual town meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay?
You know, this process last year didn't go as smoothly as I think any of us had hoped, so I'd like to try something different. I'd like to make a motion to propose a slate of candidates. So what I'd like to do is move that Paul Salafia serve as chair, Alex Rispoli serve as vice chair, and Dan Kowalski serve as secretary.
I'll second that. We've never really.
Yeah, I wouldn't second myself as I wouldn't second myself for any position.
I should have said this before, and I spoke to Council Herbalist before, and he says he has no issue with the form. I assume that's still the case with the form of my motion.
Yeah.
So making a three-person motion is
I don't
legal?
see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you recall, Mr. Herbalist, Attorney Herbalist, I spoke to you last year asking, you know, is it acceptable for a chair to make a motion? And it certainly is acceptable for a chair. It's just personal preference. You know, what I'll say is this is, I attended the school committee meeting, and I absolutely love the process that they used, where they used a process in which a motion was made, it was seconded, and the person accepted the motion, which I thought was very, you know, very respectful.
Say again?
A motion was made, the motion was seconded, and the person accepted the motion, which I think was a very respectful process that they utilized. And they actually used a process where the chair made the motion for the vice chair, which, you know, was representative of what the person that the chair probably wants to work with. And I understand it's just practice, procedure, but I was very impressed by their process. You know, I, for one, will say I would vote against that try motion. I don't think it's, you know, it puts me in a tough spot because I would never second myself.
Well,
You know,
you seconded
right,
second.
right, but I'm just saying it puts me in a tough spot because I'd never second myself, but I really think it's important to preserve the integrity of individual votes for individual appointees.
Yeah.
So
and
I don't think that this is the right thing for the Board of Selectmen to do.
yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, we've had a motion in a second, so this is time
Yeah,
for conversation.
and this is the discussion
Yeah, it's the
point.
discussion piece, right,
Yeah.
yeah. And last year, if you recall, this was not, it's a very awkward process to go through. My motivation was really try to streamline this a little bit and really to recognize that we have a board with differing perspectives. In my view, I think we need the experience of the leadership of Paul and Alex and yourself. And I thought that as I see it, this would be an appropriate approach to the leadership of the board going forward. So I understand other boards do things differently. Quite frankly, we do it differently each and every year. So it doesn't really matter, but I would like my motion to be honored and voted on.
Yeah, it was made, it was seconded, so
Yeah.
it will be voted on, so there's no question about that,
Thank you.
unless the second is rescinded. But, I mean, this is just completely inappropriate, from my opinion. You know, individual board members should be able to vote on individual appointments, because this just takes the power of an individual's vote away, and it might allow someone else to ride on someone else's coattails.
Well, you
And
can
you
vote.
don't want that.
You can
know,
vote. You can vote no.
Yeah, no, I'm
You can
just
vote no.
Yeah, no, and I'm just speaking. This is
Yes.
the discussion period
Yeah.
where we talk about this. So, you know, I think that there's, you know, this is always kind of a contentious issue every year. I mean, every year since I've been on the board, I think that this kind of jumps out as
Which is exactly
Never was
why
before, but-
which
Right,
is exactly
right.
why I wanted to try something
right,
different.
yeah, but I don't think that this is an appropriate approach to selecting 3 leaders. So, anyway, I don't know what other people feel about it.
Further discussion?
Well, certainly this is not, as I've seen, any traditional move. I don't like the idea of a single motion choosing 3/5 of the board. And I don't know, not quite sure what I think about it, other than it's not what I expected, and I don't know that I think it's a good thing to not be able to decide on the individual portions of it, as the board traditionally has done.
As unorthodox as this is, it's a legal motion and a legal second, so I have to call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
Motion carries 3-2.
Congratulations.
So I was just get that, folks? I was just elected secretary, and I wasn't given a choice. Isn't that quite interesting in the democratic process?
Well, you could have denied the.
I
motion,
opposed
but
it,
you
so
could have
I
withdrawn-
opposed
you
it,
could
so
have
I guess
withdrawn from it.
I
could have-
opposed it, so I guess I'm the secretary now. Wow.
Well,
Well, that's something.
It was a legal motion and it was seconded and it was voted on.
I mean, you can.
don't-
No, I
Make
mean,
it-
geez, the
Yeah.
majority of the board want me to be the secretary, so, geez, I guess
an honor.
I'll have to be the secretary.
Well,
You know,
you
because
could
my
actually-
individual
I think
vote
you
was
could resign-
taken
or
away.
You could resign from it, I guess. I don't know how to. This is so awkward.
It's
always
extremely
awkward.
awkward. It's
This
extremely
is much
awkward.
better than last year.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. Well, my view.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Comment from the floor?
Sure, who wants to speak?
Jameson Law, County Andover firefighters. I'm just curious why last year Mr. Landry wasn't supportive of nominating you for the chair of the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, well, I'm on record, last year, I was the only one to oppose Paul, and I opposed him very publicly because I felt that his accepting a donation from the firefighters union while we're in collective bargaining agreement negotiations was inappropriate.
Understandable.
Now, what I can say, however.
Understandable. Now,
Well,
why?
if I could,
excuse me.
can I finish my
Why-
answer?
now, why
No, I'm
this
gonna
year?
finish my answer.
Now, why this
What
year?
I've seen in the last year, however, okay, what I've seen in the last year, however, is I've seen that Paul, in his capacity as chair, has been very, very fair. He has been very fair as chair, and which is why I was inspired to put him forward as chair this year.
Change your mind.
Because of how he has handled himself as chair. I still have the same issue with the same issue I raised last year, as with any candidate that takes money from a union.
However,
Excuse me,
and I
this is the business of the
and I
board.
understand your platform.
Excuse me, let me finish.
And I understand your
This is the
platform.
business of the board, and in the business of the board, electing a chair runs the meeting and runs the board. In my view, Paul has earned the ability to serve for another year.
Certainly.
Okay, let's be.
You didn't seem to share the same insight on the rest of the board members that we've all endorsed. Alex Vespoli, Paul Salafia, Dan Kowalski, most recently Laura Gregory. We've endorsed them all.
I think I've been consistent for the time I've been on the board,
But this year, you seem to be in agreement that he should be.
because I've seen how he's conducted himself as chair. I think I've answered your
Put it
question.
on the record.
I just,
Thank you.
okay, I think we want to kind of move on from this.
Thank you,
and,
Mr.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, I'm kind of perplexed. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm doing with this, being appointed to a position that I voted against. So I'm going to have to think about that and figure out how I'll deal with that at some point in the future. I don't think I want to get into it this evening, but I'm really quite disappointed in the majority's vote. I'm quite disappointed in individual Alex, you choosing to second yourself. Because that's
The whole slate.
you seconded yourself. So I'm quite disappointed in that. Really, we talk about ethical and you try to keep things on a clean, straight and narrow, and trying to tie one person to another or tying three people together, isn't the right thing to do.
You're implying a legal motion was unethical, and
No,
and I resent that.
All right,
No,
all right.
just
I think we
as your opinion that an employee group firefighter supporting a candidate is the wrong thing to do. I mean, that's your
my
opinion.
opinion.
Right,
That's
just
right.
as my opinion is that this is one of the most whacked things
It was a weird one, no
that
question.
I will experience, which you participated in,
Mr. Chair,
which you clearly participated in, is one of the most whacked things that I have seen this board do.
I just like one more comment on the record, if you don't
It's not a
mind.
public
This is
hearing.
business of the board. I think
Mr. Chair, one more, if you don't mind.
This is going to happen really quick.
Real
I
quick.
need to move on, okay?
Real quick, I just want to make a point here. It's inappropriate for a organization in town to get behind a candidate, but it's not inappropriate for several selectmen on this board to get behind another candidate who's not here tonight. For the record, thank you.
Okay.